Hello world, Shelly here, and today I'm just gonna take you through a little get ready with me because I got the new Natasha Denona palette. Ah! You know me and eyeshadow, especially my bougie eyeshadows. I've used it once. Spoiler alert, I really love the look I did with it yesterday. So I figured I'd show you what I'm playing with. I also got the Angie Hot and Flashy brushes from why was I gonna BK Beauty? I was gonna say Beauty BK, and I'm like, that doesn't make sense. Why am I backwards? I don't know. Got the Angie brushes. Actually, there's one in here that is just a BK Beauty brush. These are the Angie brushes. I just grabbed some out of my box. I just grabbed a whole handful of them. So we're gonna play with these today as well. Little get ready with me, a little chit chat, little something something, little caffeine, cause whoo boy, necessary. I have already primed my lids with my glorious MAC paint pot in Painterly. I am going to need to buy another one very soon. I'm getting low, but you know, the joy of Painterly, these paint pots, they will last you. Like, you will get all the way down to pan and they don't dry out. And I don't know why it's focusing on the light switch. No idea, but love me the paint pots. I've gone through half a dozen of them already. They're brilliant. They're brilliant. Painterly is the cool undertone one. Soft Ochre is the warm undertone one. So based on your skin tone, grab you the one that's the best. It's the only primer I use for my eyes anymore. It's the best. Oh, heavens to murgatory. I'm recalling something my grandma used to say. Heavens to murgatory. I don't even think that's a word. I don't know what that means. But that came to my mind just now. Isn't she pretty? Isn't she pretty? I will often hear people say things like, well, you know, I have those shades in other palettes already, or things along those lines, but do you have them in this combination that if you love this combination, you could easily grab this for travel or just for ease of putting a look together, you just grab one palette? I am a one palette kind of girl. I don't care if I have similar shades in different palettes. I'm not going to grab 5 different palettes to do an eye look. Just like I don't mix my foundations on most days. I've got to really love it to bother mixing it. So I like the convenience of having what I like in one palette. So if these duplicate some that I have elsewhere, I don't care because I just want to grab this and do my eye look. So that's how I roll anyway, and I love the Natasha Denona formula. So yeah, it's beautiful. I am testing today. You will see this video. I don't know if you're going to see it before or after this one, but I am testing the e.l.f. Camo Powder, and Ziva jumped up here and rubbed her freaking tail in my face, and I've been feeling like I have cat hair on my face ever since. I'm sure I do. I'm sure I do. But let's do this. I'm looking at this shade in the center, which is called Unity. That peachy sort of transition shade. I'm going to use that as transition. And the BK Beauty, this is the Angie 503. And I'm going to keep that crease and above with the intent of kind of bringing it up toward my brow bone for a soft-ish wash of color. Now this brush I would equate in similarity of shape and purpose to my beloved Wayne Goss number 3. It's a little bit less tapered at the point, but it's got a similar size and similar softness of the blend. I love a big fluffy brush that's not wide at the end. I want some tapered end for doing my transition because I like to get the depth of color in the crease there, but I like to splay it out and bring it softly up toward my brow. I have a decent amount of space up here, but because I have sort of droopy, semi-hooded lids, if I'm just looking straight onto you, a lot of that gets like swallowed up with that extra skin that's going on there. So I need to bring the color pretty high up for it to be visible when I am looking in a relaxed, straight on kind of a position. And then I look in the mirror and make sure I have enough. And on this eye, this is my droopier eye. I don't have enough, so I'm going to dip in one more time and take it a little higher on this outer half of the lid. Because, you know, I raise my eyebrows a lot, and I'll get people that say, oh, you don't have hooded lids. Well, the thing is, I don't know why, this has been my whole life, but I talk a lot with my eyebrows up, and then you can't really tell because it's all stretched out. But if I relax my eyes and look straight forward, you see how this is touching my eyelids or my eyelashes. Like that overhanging skin touches my lashes when I look straight on. So they are hooded. I just happen to talk with my eyelids up. Now I need a little more on the other side because I went a little haywire. My eyebrows up. I talk with my eyebrows up. I don't know why I do. I think I've done it my whole life, and I'm glad because it helps my hooded lids not look as hooded. And it makes my eyeshadow more visible when I do my eyes. Oh, this cat hair feeling is going to drive me crazy. It's okay, though. It's okay. We're going to survive. I'm trying to remember, based on looking in my pans, what colors I used yesterday. Because I really liked how that came out. Alright, I'm going to start... I want it sort of neutral. I would normally go into this berry shade here, but I'm going to try and stay a little more neutral. And I'm going to take this shade at the top, which is called Aspiration. And I'm going to use, in the Angie brushes, this is the 501. I'm thinking it's kind of similar in shape to my very dirty, but beloved Sigma E25. It's a little bit bigger, but it's got that similar, you know, side profile and that similar shape. It's a little less tapered to a point, but I think it's going to be good for a crease because that is kind of my preferred shape for going into my crease because I don't want to go too high up into that transition that I just did, just based on my eye shape. But I want it to be concentrated enough that it darkens the crease. I need just a touch more to even things out in the middle here. Now, my crease shade will typically be completely hidden when I look straight forward. I'll see a little bit on this outer corner, but that's just how my lids are. But that's fine. I want to see it when I'm talking with my eyebrows up. But if it hides when I'm relaxed, that's okay. It'll be fine. This brush is a little bit more dense than the Sigma E25, so it doesn't have quite that blurring blending. I'm thinking this might serve a little bit better as a packing brush on the lid than a crease blender, but it's working. I'm just used to a little bit more softness in my crease brush. I did not look to see what these are all intended to be, so I'm just winging it. And maybe I'm using them for the wrong purposes. I don't know. I'm gonna use this one to pack my lid though because it feels perfect for that. But we got some color going. You see how it just disappears if I look straight on, but if I raise my lids, you can see the color. Alright, now I'm gonna go with, let's do a flat shader brush. This is the Angie 505. I'm gonna go into this shade. Oh no, let's do something else first. I'm gonna take, let's do that same brush, and I'm gonna go in with this super dark. This is one of the colors that made me buy this palette. This edgy shade. It's a matte. It's a deep, 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 deep cool tone plum. And I'm gonna pack a little bit. It shears out a little plummy, but it's beautiful on the outer corner. We're gonna start here so that we have something to blend a shimmer into. And I'm gonna take that up to the crease just a little bit. I want to go about halfway. This is a really cool shade. It's exactly what I hoped. You can build it up to be really dark, but you can also shear it out to be that plum berry kind of a color to it. and it's just not quite the same as other berry shades that I've got. It's kind of unique that way, and I really, really like this one. So I'm glad that it turned out the way I had anticipated when I wanted to buy the palettes. I've actually had this palette sitting here for like a week, and it got buried under a bunch of mail, and I kind of forgot that I had it. And yeah. So I'm very happy that I'm using it now. Trying to get just a little darker on that outer edge. We are going to deepen that up again, but there's the kind of overall shape that I've got going on. I'm about halfway in. I am taking it to the crease, but not completely overwhelming that neutral shade that we just did. Alright, I'm going to wash that brush off in my little brush switch thingamajig, and now I'm going to keep using the same brush. I'm going to go into Babies, this top corner shimmer, and I'm going to start from the inner corner, get the inner corner fully covered, and then when I get to the center, I'm going to just wiggle it to transition it into that berry color. These two shades go really well with each other. I will say that one thing with Natasha Denona palettes is normally, for most of them, I feel like you kind of have to stick to the rows and the columns and the quads that they've kind of predefined in the way they've done the layout of the palette. And the entire palette doesn't necessarily allow for good color coordination. Like it's kind of segmented. But this palette, I feel like I can go any which way. I can grab colors across the whole entire thing, and it feels very cohesive to me. Now, her shimmers, if you apply with a fingertip, you get max payoff. So if you want that boom, go in with your fingertip right in the center of your lid and get that boom factor going. But I also like that they're buttery enough that you can apply them with brushes, and they're totally wonderful. Alright, so we got some shimmer on there. Now I'm going to go in with decisions. Do I want... Alright, we're going to take the small detailer brush in the Angie collection, 504, and I am going to do just a little bit of this guy with this guy. So it's Instinct and Edgy. I'm going to load a little Instinct and tap once into Edgy, because I kind of just want to define a little color coming in to that center area. Yes, I love what this is doing. I did not do this yesterday. And I can hear Ziva snoring. So, a couple taps in Instinct, one tap in Edgy, and we're just bringing some color. This size of this brush is very similar to my beloved Wayne Goss 20, but it's a little bit less fluffy, which gives you a little bit more control, which for this purpose, outer corner stuff, is brilliant. Oh, I like that color. I'm going to do a little more Instinct over here. And now we're going to tone it down just a little bit. Same brush. I'm going to go back into that neutral aspiration up here. And just kind of focus on the outer 7. You know me and Nisha from Sugar Puff and Fluff. The outer 7 instead of the outer V. We're just going to define that outer 7 a little bit. Gives you a little bit of lift on your droopy outer corners. and just helps kind of ground everything. Now I'm going to relax my eyes. I'm looking in my mirror to make sure that my color is visible with my eyes relaxed. And usually I do have to bring it a little higher onto the hood at the outer corner. Otherwise you can't really see it. Alright, now I think, yes, so I got, this is just a BK Beauty brush. It is number, whoa, that's tiny, 208. It is a little detailer brush. I think this would be great for doing eyeliner. But I'm going to use it under my lower lash line with that same aspiration shade to start, that neutral sort of brown on the lower lash line. And then just for funsies, I'm going to dip into Edgy, that plummy dark shade, and just plumb it up a little bit on the outer third. Just a tiny bit. Yeah, this brush would be fantastic for eyeliner as well. It's precise, but it splays out enough that you can use it as just regular old lower lash line. Let's get a little edgy in here. Get a little plum happening. And I'm going to go back with that tiny little detailer brush. I'm going to wipe it off in my little brush switch. So I didn't add any more product. I'm just kind of using it as a blend out the harshness of the line. And maybe add a little color from whatever's left over on that brush. So we have a little bit of plum happening. Just a little bit of plum. Alright, I'm actually going to use that same little detailer brush and go back into Unity, that center shade we did for the transition, and just make sure I have I'm using like the lightest possible hand, barely touching, with my eyes relaxed to make sure I've got a little bit of that shade still showing up above the darker shades that we did. Just a little blendy blend. Now this palette has this spontaneous shade, which is a little darker than I would normally use on my inner corners, but it works because I tried it yesterday. So I can't find my inner corner brush, that Jaclyn Hill brush that I love so much. So I've been using this random thing. A little bit on the inner corners. Maybe it's just that I'm not used to using like a champagne color on my inner corner. I usually go for something more toward the white silver type of shade. But this one works. Alright, I'm going to try to get the tiniest bit up here. I tend to go overboard, and then I'm mad at myself to get the arch of the brow, because I'm getting to the point where I need that extra little bit of lift, that visual illusion that draws your eye upward instead of downward. Ah, yes. This palette is lovely. It is lovely. Now, I have really been enjoying the Flower Beauty, I think it's just called Long Lasting, Long Wear Eyeliner as my tightline. You know, I've been rolling through a whole bunch of different ones. The Gwen Stefani one, it just ended up being too soft was the problem. You know, I didn't mind that it transferred down to the lower waterline because I like the look of that, but that pencil is almost gone. Like, I'm at like half size already, and I haven't had it for that long. Every time you sharpen it, it's just a really soft pencil. Which, if that's what you're going for, that's awesome. But I was just going through it so fast, and it transfers quite a bit. It doesn't stay put in the waterline, so curl these puppies. Since I've got a lot of eyeshadow happening, I'm not going to wear upper lash liner. And I'm just going to go back in with just a touch of that baby's shade on my fingertip one more time. Because I brought a little too much purple inward from the outside. There we go. I feel better about that now. All right, all right. Let me put some lipstick on and I'll be right back. All right, I put on my mascara too. CoverGirl Lash Plumping Mascara. I feel like I always am either directly or subliminally influenced by what I'm wearing. And I've got my Lawnerd shirt on, my We Ride at Dawn, and I think that color brought my interest in doing this old berry looking thing. I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it. My lips are the newly launched Color Street lip line. The liner is sultry and the lipstick is Baddie, B-A-D-D-I-E. And that's what I've got going on. There you go. Here's my look for today. And that's how I got it. Very, 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 very. Hope you enjoyed this one. Let me know, do you want me to do any other eye looks, any other palettes, any other things happening? You know, there haven't been very many eyeshadow palette releases lately, and I was really excited to get a new one that seemed really exciting to me. Also, thank you so much for your feedback on the video editor that I have hired for the time being to do some video editing. I think we are in the process going back and forth to make sure that the edits are to your guys' liking, and it takes a lot of that workload off my plate, which is going to allow me to do a whole lot more with the things that I can offer you. Those of you that have in the past signed up for my free foundation class or any of the free little things I have done over time, keep an eye out, because if you signed up with your email, I will be contacting you to let you know what is coming in the future and the things that I am working on. And so keep an eye out for that. It'll be coming soon in the next month or so. There you have it. Let me know in the comments. What do you think? Do you like this palette? What's your philosophy on palettes? Are you okay going through 5 different palettes to get a single look? Is that, you don't mind taking the time to do it because you don't have to buy more palettes? Do you love buying palettes? Are you as obsessed with eyeshadow palettes as I am? Let me know. Let's chat. You know this is my happy place. Hit me up down in the comments. You can also DM me over on Instagram. I am over there as well. Geek Out of Water. As always, thanks a lot for taking some time out of your day to geek out over makeup with me. I appreciate your time, and I hope you guys all have an awesome day or night wherever you are in the world. Take care of each other. Bye-bye.